Since we're not in person quite yet with our pencil paper, we're going to be doing digital notebooks in this age of COVID. So we're going to be using a table of contents containing the list of chapters with links to specific slides. You don't necessarily need to use the links. I know some students last year were afraid about accidentally deleting anything, so you can always just scroll down on the side, but we're going to use that to record our notes that we just went over for the double entry journal, and it will be stored under whichever chapters we're reading for that specific day. So if we are reading chapter 5 today, we're going to put it on the slide titled chapter 5. So on each slide, it will be set up already with the two columns set up for you. On the left side, it will be titled From the Text, and on the right side, it will be titled From My Mind, just like the examples we've seen. So to edit the text boxes, all we do is click on them, and then we just type. And then when we're ready to do the next one, we just hit the enter key and it goes on to our next point. So again, same exact thing as the example we showed with the paper. It's just a digital format, so typing instead of writing with the pencil. And you don't have to worry about looking for a save button because it automatically saves for you. So you don't have to worry about it somehow getting not saved or erased. It saves your work for you as it goes through since it's the internet. Another reason we definitely want to be using these types of notes is because it's very helpful when it comes to answering text-based questions. So when we're answering questions, if it's me or if it's on an assignment or a packet or a quiz or anything, anytime we're answering text-based questions, we want to make sure we're answering them completely. So what we call that is the RACE or the RACE strategy. We start by restating the question. We do that always to answer in complete sentences. So for instance, if the question was asking you something super easy like, what day is today? You would start by restating the question. So today is. So that's just always a basic format. And then the second part, the A, is answer the question. So we want to make sure we're answering what the question's asking. And then the C and the E are really what steps it up for fourth grade. So after we've restated the question and answered the question, we want to make sure we're citing text evidence and explaining it fully. So that's why our double entry journal is going to make this a lot easier because we have our pieces of text evidence on the left-hand side of our journal, and we have our explanations of that evidence on the right-hand side. So when you go to answer these text-based questions, going back to your notes makes it a lot easier to do so. And to show just a quick example of what the strategy looks like, we could have the question based on the reading, how do hot air balloons manage to float? So this was a question from one of the Scholastic Weekly articles we had this past year about hot air balloons and how they manage to float up in the air. So we looked at our notes and we looked at the race strategy and we solved each of the four parts piece by piece. The first part, which is highlighted in that pinkish purplish color, was restating the question, which was hot air balloons manage to float. So we put that part in for our complete sentence. And then the A part for answering the questions is highlighted in yellow because of the envelope, the burner, and the basket. So that first part is answering the first two, the R and the A. Hot air balloons manage to float because of the envelope, the burner, and the basket. Now for the C and the E, we have according to, up and away. As the air inside the envelope warms, the air becomes less dense than the air outside. And then the last part, this means that the envelope rises with the less dense air managing to float. So we can see that that race strategy as a whole is definitely a lot easier to do, pulling from our notes in the double entry journal.